Hey everybody, I'm Tommy. In this video, I'm going to show you how I repaired my DeWalt table saw when the problem was that this wheel was turning, but the blade was not going up or down. If your problem is that you can't turn this wheel, this video should be helpful for repairing that as well, because if that's your problem, there are a couple of gears that are likely misaligned. And I'm going to show you how to disassemble that gear and put it back together, and that should help you with that problem. This should work for most DeWalt table saws and should act as a guide for other brands of table saws as well, because they all kind of work in a similar way. Whether it's your first time here or even if you've been here before, welcome to 1 Minute Workbench. I wasn't 100% sure what was wrong and found very little guidance online. I had to figure things out as I went along, and because of that, I made lots of mistakes when it comes to the order of operations. I'm going to show you parts of this video in the sequence for how you should do them rather than how I did them. Also, know that you are proceeding at your own risk and proceed only if you are familiar with and comfortable doing this type of work. Make sure you are following all standard safety practices like unplugging your saw before you get started. Turn your saw upside down and turn the hand wheel. If this rod turns but the motor isn't moving up or down, then the internal threads are worn or broken. If this is your problem, you'll need to buy a replacement for this aluminum housing. I'll put a link to the replacement part I purchased down in the description section. So you know, this repair is pretty involved and actually requires disassembling the motor. With this video, it should hopefully be easier for you than it was for me. My guess is that this repair will take you somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. Start by removing your blade and riving knife. Then flip your saw upside down. Remove the cover for the dust chute, then remove these 2 screws. Remove the power switch and be careful not to mix up the wires. Remove the plastic panel, which is held in by 7 screws. By the way, I know things look a little out of order here. Again, that's because I've edited the video to give you the best order of operations. Now remove the screws that hold in the slide rods on either side of the motor. The bottom screw of the left side slide rod was very difficult to turn. If any of these screws are hard for you to turn, just be careful not to strip them. Remove these 2 screws and this plastic cover. Remove the retaining ring that holds in the riving knife knob and remove the knob. You should have 1 knob, 1 retaining ring, 1 flat washer, and 1 lock washer. At this point, you should be able to remove the motor. Remove the screw and stop washer located at the end of the threaded rod. At this point, the threaded rod will probably just pull out. However, there might be some residual grab by the internal threads. Here, you can see mine were pretty badly worn. Before you get started installing the new aluminum housing, grab one of the slide rods and make sure it actually slides through both holes. Unfortunately, I had already installed mine before I realized that one of the holes had a lip at one end that needed to be filed and sanded. It's not the end of the world, but it would have been easier to do before assembly. Remove the 3 screws that hold the gear cover. Mine were really tough to remove and required the use of vice grips. Remove these 2 small screws and this assembly. Yours probably looks different from mine because I accidentally removed extra parts. All you need to remove is these 2 main screws. Leave everything else in place. Remove the 4 screws that hold the motor cover in place and remove the cover. Gently work the arbor forward so that you can create a small gap between the gear cover and the housing. Use a pry tool to gently pry the cover forward. Do not puncture the O-ring. The gear grease inside my cover looked and smelled fine, so I transferred it to the new housing. If your gear grease looks bad or smells burned, you should use new grease. Remove the armature from the old housing. I used an awl and mallet to strike the front of the shaft, rotating the shaft slightly between strikes. I then realized I should have supported the armature in case it popped out. Just be careful not to drop yours. Retrieve the O-ring from the old part, being careful not to puncture it. Use a little bit of gear grease to lubricate the O-ring groove on the back side of the new housing, and a little more to lubricate the O-ring. Install the O-ring into the groove and wipe off any excess grease. Use scraps of wood and paper to level the housing as shown here. Align the armature with the housing and gently strike it with a rubber mallet. Check between each strike to make sure it's going in straight. If it looks crooked, pull it out and start again. Once you can see that it's going in straight, you can start striking with more force. Continue striking and checking until the armature is fully seated. Apply a little extra gear grease right to the teeth of the gear. Install the cover, which for me required alternating between strikes with a rubber mallet and tightening the screws. Finally, I tightened them with the vice grips since they came with such high torque from the factory. I did a quick check just to make sure the gears were working. Many of the screws were installed with blue thread lock, so I did the same during reassembly. You can tell which ones require it because you'll easily see the color blue on the threads. The spring-loaded brushes inside the motor cover will prevent the armature from going inside. You'll need to remove these plastic caps to take the tension off of the springs. Install the motor with the riving knife assembly opposite the power cord as shown here. Gently reinstall the spring caps. Do not over-tighten these. Reinstall the 4 screws that hold the motor cover in place. Install the threaded rod and secure it in place with a stop washer. You have a lot of hardware that needs to be installed still, so it might help to get organized before you keep going. Pause the video if you need to and arrange your items as shown here. Make a note of the slide rod that does not have a hole at one end. Install that rod into the new housing as shown here. Put the motor back into position. Apply thread lock and get the cap screws started, but don't fully tighten them yet. Insert the other slide rod with the flat side facing out. Install these 3 screws. Now you can finish tightening the cap screws. Test the mechanism. If it works, keep going. If it does not, loosen the screws, realign things, and try again. Keep going until it's properly aligned. Reinstall the knob as shown, with the lock washer going on first. Then the flat washer, then the retaining ring. My camera lost focus here, but you should be able to see that I'm reinstalling the plastic cover, which requires only 2 screws. Install the plastic panel. Remember, even though my power switch is installed at this point, yours should not be. Install your power switch. Again, be careful not to mix up the wires. Finally, install your riving knife and saw blade. Hey, thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it helped you repair your saw. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe and make sure you hit the notifications bell so you get notified every time I put out a new video. I'd love to hear what you think about this project down in the comment section below. And if you have any quick questions, hit me up on social media. Until the next time I see you, I hope you have fun building something.